All right, guys. I'm in a trade right now. It's 8:43 on December 1st, 2022. Let's get rid of that. I'm in this trade. Not not really certain about confidence level. I'm completely break even at my entry. It's looking good, initiating away, but there's something about this that's sort of making me feel that this is going to be the liquidity, and we're going to sort of pull in here to make a buy primary. And as we do, um, I would ideally like to have my stop completely open, full risk, but I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I don't want to take any more risk on today. I want to preserve capital. I took one loss. I'm two trades in, one loss and one break even or full 10R. I'm not going to change any like profit targets. I do actually believe that this will come up here and break structure. Whether or not it will do so now, I don't know. But this is sort of how I'm analyzing it. This is what my bias is, I guess you could say, unless something different happens. Um, that's really what I'm expecting. So yeah, I do believe that this is actually a range that could be just to create a buy primary and then push up price. Um, but like I said, I'm not willing to move my risk. So anyway, we're going to, well, first of all, but while we're still on this chart, let me just talk about one thing I wanted to mention because I thought this was quite funny. Right now, I've got gloves on, right? Like little sort of gloves you'd wear, if you're going for a walk or something, it's cold outside, that kind of glove, right? And it reminded me of when I very first started trading a few years back. I'm 30, I'm 38 right now, and I've traded on and off my entire life, like 16, 17. I was doing financial spread betting, and that didn't work out, obviously. And I sort of got back into trading, I guess, about 4 years ago-ish. I don't even know the dates. Who cares? The years, dates, that doesn't really matter. But that's when I started really seriously saying to myself, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do for my life, right? And when I first started trading then, 4 years ago, I would, with a live account, I would sit there, click the button. I was trading futures, I think it was at first. And I clicked the button and literally freezing cold fingers. I had an emotional response and it was freezing cold fingers. And I remember that real vividly. I remember telling a few people that story. And it's quite funny that I've got cold fingers right now because I am in a trade, but I don't have the emotional responses and causing the cold fingers. The cold fingers is because it's fucking cold. And it's really cold, right now, where I'm at. And, we're changing into winter time and whatnot. And, I have a little space heater on, but I don't have, central heating in this room in my office. Uh, Incidentally, that's part of the project I'm doing. If you've been hearing me talk about a project that I'm involved with, a home project, that is, I'm putting in an HVAC system into our house, a whole house system, and I will be putting vents into my office. It's going to take, who knows how long it will take for me to get doing it all. I'm doing it all myself, and so it's quite interesting. But yeah, I will hopefully have like a real nice, warm and cool office in the hopefully near future, right? So anyway, that's interesting. Let's look onto the charts now. Like some interesting stuff to talk about today. So I wake up, and anyone who's been following my vids for a minute will see that this kind of a look, right? This is my chart that I've been sort of basing everything off of, and then to see sort of this bounce in here did throw me a little bit for the loop because I was thinking we were in a sell primary with this aggression, and I mean I spoke about how we had a reaction and a second reaction. It was very bearish and weak, right? Um, and then to see it bounce out of here, or like below here, was unexpected. That's how I would say it. Unexpected. Now, anyone who's seen my charts would not have seen that drawn on. It looked like this. And so I actually misanalyzed this. I didn't see this buy primary. Range, initiation, break a structure. They sell through that range, stop into a buy block, and proceed to actually break structure. This is an absolute strong buy block. So we've got a strong buy primary and a sell primary that formed. But if you look at the sell primary, is it really a strong sell primary until it takes out structure, right? We do know this. Oh shit. Hold on. Got the old wife calling. Let's do a little pause here. All right, sorry about that. The old ball and chain was on the phone. Just kidding. I love my wife. She just had a quick question I could help with, so that's all good. All right, lost my train of thought. So let's see if I can get it back. Clean this up a little here. So what were we talking about? We were talking about the this buy primary and this sell primary, right? So we were talking about the strength of primaries. So if you see this range initiation, break a structure most likely over to the left, right? We'll find it if we need to. And then this buy primary, range initiation, break a structure here, right? These are solid versus this one, which is, look at this range, initiation. Look at the break of structure versus the break of structure. Like, look, here's the structure break versus say this one, right? That's got a break of structure over to the other side, or this one, which is actually taken out massive structures. So it's structurally, this is a more aggressive, solid looking buy primary than this sell primary. And so I misanalyzed this 1 hour by not having this guy on my charts. Regretfully, I'm learning. It's no big deal. We make mistakes. There is a lot of information going on here. I've got my sells and my buys. Something I've realized that's been helping so much is having a split screen where I've got a buy side and a sell side. That's been helping me so freaking much. And I'm going to start doing that on the higher time frame too. I've decided that I want to do that. It feels the right thing to do. I thought because it was slower price action that I can add multiple drawings on and still get the same kind of visual look that I'm wanting. But I'm finding that having that split screen look and having sort of all my sell drawings on one side and all my buy drawings on the other is actually beneficial and is actually helpful. So I'm going to definitely implement that soon. Probably I'll let this week close out, and then over the weekend I might do that, or I probably will do that, right, when I got a little bit of extra time. Now, as for my 5-minute look, so anyone who sees my screen, I do have it usually split like this: 1 hour at the top, 5 or 15 at the bottom. And so I might actually just create a whole new chart here and see what we can do here. I think I'm about to get tagged out on this one. I had a feeling this was going to create like I was saying, like a potential buy primary. Whether I hang in here or not is going to be interesting, but this is a really good place for it to bounce from. Let's just have a quick look. Can we take out, I mean, it's already taken out its transitional, small transitional. So that's definitely a mitigation, a liquidation into a mitigation. So there's a good chance that is a new low that's being formed, whether or not it's going to be a low that's going to hold or anything like that. It could be also a reaching sort of a pin bar rather than a rejecting. Whatever. Like I said, this trade doesn't matter. Like I'm not going to be trading anymore. This trade doesn't matter if it wins or loses, wins or breaks even. It's just putting myself in the correct sort of position time and time again. I mean, look at the entry and look at what happened. I had a reaction up to sort of 5R-ish. That's pretty freaking decent. To continually put yourself in positions like that, that's where the winning's going to come from, I believe. So anyway, that's what I was talking about on my 1 hour. Let's keep going on the 1 hour. I'm going to try to speed up now because I realize I'm just waffling a little bit here and I want to add value rather than sort of take your time up. So here's what I was looking at. Missed this buy primary completely off of my charts. And so now this morning when I wake up, a little sort of confusion. So I've just started creating a buy primary sort of look on the higher time frame. Range, initiation, break structure. There's that break structure that I was talking about on the left of our charts. stacks liquidity. We thought this was the coming in to create that primary, but it didn't close, believe here, and it was this range that took that liquidity and ended up bouncing from this buy block, right? And then initiated higher prices and broke structure. So this is a solid block. So as we come in, range, initiation, this is kind of like what we're just doing now on that lower time frame. Look, we're initiating out of a buy primary, and then we've created this range, and then we've done it again. We take the liquidity before sort of shooting up. And that's what I'm sort of banking on is actually occurring, sort of in this instance. Here's that sort of that we're initiating out of a buy primary. We've got to create this range. It's just a liquidity range, I'm hoping, or, wishful thinking, I guess. But anyway, so here we are. I've got like this, outlook is how I'm sort of seeing things now on the higher time frame. We've formed a buy primary. What's my expectation? RIMC, all the live long day. Does it have to be right now? No. Look at this high. Look at what it mitigates for a 1 hour, right? So every time we sort of mitigate and pull down price, especially on a higher time frame, dang it. So there, I got stopped out of my trade. Bummer. I was really thinking of putting my stop at the, like keeping my stop completely open. Let's see if that would have been a valid sort of thing to do or not. So let's look at the high time frame look. Let's go back and see what it mitigated, right? So we've stopped right here. And just so everyone can see, I hope I'm not going too high. Here's that, too fast. Here's that high, comes in, and this is where it stops. And I look at where it stops and go, is this a strong zone? Is this a strong or is it weak? And I'm like looking over all of this, I'm really trying to sort of find any kind of sell primary in here because that's what's going to get us hung up, sell primary. And this is the only thing that I can sort of interpret. A miniature range, an aggressive move down, break a structure, comes back in, mitigates because of all this transitional, takes the liquidity from above this tiny little range and creates a sell primary, right? So yes, it's a sell primary on a 1 hour, but look at the range here that it took. The liquidity that it took before initiating away isn't exactly strong. And if you think about what we're creating and how we're sort of creating things over on this side of the screen, these big primaries, right? We're not exactly worried about like tiny little ones. Tiny little sort of primaries are insignificant to us. So I'm designating this a weak high. Look at what it mitigated for a 1 hour. I'm thinking this is gonna get ran. This is likely just a reaching pin bar. It's reaching, not rejecting. It's reaching for liquidity. It's got liquidity, pulls back, grabs a bit more, goes on. So where are we going to grab more from? Well, we've got a transitional right here that we're mitigating right now. And so I'm just looking for, on the lower time frame, reasons to believe that this is where we're going to sort of ascend from to take out that high. So now we go over to our, let's go to our buy primary, our lower time frame outlook. So here's our last known buy primary on the 1 minute that was unmitigated. Price shoots down. So I'm at the charts looking at all this, and it's choppy. I'm seeing this buy primary form, range, initiation, break a structure. They come in, they take all that liquidity, and they break structure again. So I'm like, okay, this is really cool. And I write to myself, and price is here. And I'm saying to myself, I would love to see if price comes back here, but it doesn't have to. I will watch for how price is delivering away and also observe lower time frame buy primaries being formed to trade off of. Price comes back here, slams through. No entry, no need to enter. Price comes back through here, slams through. This primary's now been wiped out, right? So I'm thinking, well, what the heck's going on? Where does price come straight into? a buy primary, unmitigated. And what do we typically create buy primaries for? Um, they're used as a RIMC to move money, but they're also used as cause creation. Cause all the live long day. So this is like a great area for them to grab money from. So as I see us breaking up and away from here, I'm just looking for a way to sort of get in. So I'm finding that this buy primary formed. I write this. It was a very liberal buy primary. There was no breaker structure, which I believe creates liquidity. And let's see if we can do it all over again. Let's see if we can repeat it, because I haven't entered on this. It wasn't, I'm looking for a breaker structure, and that's when we get sort of all of this sort of stacking. And then I see this sell, this sell to buy that breaks structure. So now I'm really interested. We've had this liberal one, and I believe, this liberal one, right, got touched by this. So it seems like we're building buy primary on buy primary. So I want to get in. At that moment, I want to get in. So I analyze, as we zip through here, I analyze this and I see that we've got a transitional order block. And so first and foremost, at this point here, as I look at this buy primary range and go, where do I want to enter? I decide that this looks like a really good place to enter. I want to put my stop here. So I make a 3-pip stop. I even put a live limit right here. Price comes up here. Didn't get tagged. I put the limit as soon as we broke structure here, right? I was like, yeah, done. I want in on this. It makes sense. Everything's sort of making sense. We're transacting order block to order block. Price then comes down into this transitional, and I'm thinking to myself, this is just a range initiation, right? Here's the range. So range initiation, here's that breaker structure. So if we come down into here, I'm thinking they're making a buy primary, like a lower time frame one, and we're going to do this off of a transitional, unmitigated transitional. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to take it as a risk. Hindsight's 2020, right? But I'm thinking I want to take this as an absolute risk. Let's see if we can do that. So I enter and I get zapped straight away. No big deal. So the next thing, and this is like a real clever entry, I think, right? So we come down to this, another transitional that I'm seeing. I've got like this sort of order block here. Notice how they zipped up, zipped down, zipped up, zipped down, zipped up. It's completely unmitigated. And so I see these sort of reactions in here, but there's still plenty that hasn't been, mitigated, right? And it's like kind of like this kind of thing. And so as I'm observing it, I see it get mitigated fully, and then I'm still not understanding, like, well, what are we doing? Are we going to bounce from here? I'm trying to sort of make sense of all this. And it's when let's clean these up now, because we don't need these on our charts. Nor do we need that on our charts. So, and then I see this, and it's that kind of repeat of what happened. So I see a range, initiation, breaker structure. So range, initiation, breaker structure, and then the buy primary forms. And that's when I enter. Immediately enter. Boom. I want in. And I get taken in right here. It comes in. Beautiful, beautiful reaction out of it and away. I'm thinking I'm happy days. Oops. It's because I got my gloves on, right? I'm having a hard time pressing the thing. Anyway, so as we initiate up, we're around here, right? I've already got my stop to here. I've mitigated my risk, because I'm thinking I just want to be below this low at this point. Range initiation, right? And then as soon as we break structure right around here, I just go break even. I'm happy I went break even, because it would have been, it wouldn't have worked out anyway. It would have worked out as a loss. So went break even, and that's all good. That was a great trade to take, actually, and I'm real proud of that trade. Not so proud of this one. I wish I would have not taken the risk entry on the transitional, just based on a transitional, because as I know fully and I'm aware, transitionals become liquidity. Always. It's just when. It's just a matter of when. Usually sooner than later. I'd say 80% of the time it's sooner. And I was trying to be sort of cocky and thinking, I've got this. I'm the king of trading. I can understand every move and everything. This was the best trade. Absolutely. No questions. So that's my understanding of it. Now, let's just have a little flick over to the sell side of things. See, I was thinking if this sell primary is not going to hold, what the heck? You know, this sell primary broke in and it took the high out of it. So right now, I'm gonna have to reanalyze this market to see really what's going on. It seems to me that we're in a sort of ranging area where we're actually just accumulating our position size, and we're just going to need to go back to a higher time frame to really understand everything that's going on. Now remember what I just said, just literally seconds ago. Transitional order block mitigations always become liquidity. So this could just be for, this push down into here because I'm expecting a RIMC out of here. I just didn't know when. I didn't know when we were going to get that RIMC and that break structure up here. That's my day. That's my trading day. Perhaps not the best video I've ever made here, but I hope there's some sort of value. But yeah, here's my trade. Definitely the process is working. As I can see these buy primaries to buy primaries, and so it's just about sort of seeing this process on a small scale, that range, the breaks of structure. You have to interpret your breaks of structure um, at points of interest. That's what I'd say, at high probability points of interest. For instance, this is a buy primary. This is the origin order block. If I see a lower time frame buy primary form, I'm in all day long, and that's exactly what I saw. This is kind of a hard one to interpret because of that break in structure. All is well. I hope everyone is smashing it. Hope everyone's having the best day ever. And if anyone cares, my hands are finally warmed up. So all is good on that front too. All right, everyone, take care of yourselves. One more video tomorrow, most likely, and then it will be a fun weekend. All right, take care of yourselves. Aloha.